Before we start, I'd like to outline the rules for this forum and inform you of the format. So, there are two parts to the format. The first are to the forum. The first is a discussion of ballot initiatives on ballots here. The second is a discussion between candidates, which will answer questions presented by Daily Californian senior editorial board. As audience members, we ask you to please keep your applause until after speakers are done saying their part. During speakers' time, please don't hold any signs or anything like that. All right, so we'll move into the ballot initiatives portion of the forum. There are two ballot initiatives each year. There's a class pass referendum and voice initiative. For this portion of the forum, the pro side will present first, followed by the con side, and then each will get an additional 45 seconds to add follow-on information or respond to the other side. So would the presenters for the class pass referendum please take the stage.
So I'll try to be brief. First, what's the class pass? The class pass is unlimited ride in AC Transit. That's both the local buses and the Transbay buses to San Francisco and Stanford, for example. It also includes the campus shuttles, so Perimeter Shuttle, the Hill Shuttle, and the Night Safety Shuttles. The cost of the class pass, the last year of the current deal is next year, and it's going to be $78 a semester. After that, the current referendum is proposing $77 for 3 years, $80 for 3 years, and $86 for 3 years. This way, you're guaranteed to have no more than 10% increase over a 7-year period. If only tuition was like that, right? So let's take the $77 fee. There's a third of it actually that returns to it, so that's $25 or so. And of the remaining $51, $37 goes to AC Transit operations, $3 to technological improvements to transit systems, and $11 for the campus shuttles. The last thing I want to do is put in perspective. This $51 after return to aid amounts to a 84% rebate over taking 4 months of AC Transit monthly passes. Or basically you can pay your class pass in a semester by only taking the bus for 25 trips, or 12.5 road trips. And if I had more time, I would show you all my both these metrics where I had are on par with most large public universities in terms of bus pass.
Please introduce yourself as well.
I'm Seth Zawila.
Go ahead.
All right, so one of the first things I need to make very clear is that we're not against the class pass. We're simply against the idea that there's been no negotiation whatsoever with AC Transit to ensure the best price for UC Berkeley students when they're getting this class pass. Now, one of the things that needs to be really clear is that we don't have any real reliable data. As much as some here would like to spin it, we don't have any reliable data to understand how much the average Cal student uses the class pass. Now, typically when we go to buy anything, when we make a negotiation, we want to understand what we're buying. We want to understand the value of what we're buying. Now, with this class pass system, we simply don't have that. Rather, we should have a survey, a professional survey with real data to understand how much the average Cal student uses the class pass to go in and have a negotiation with AC Transit to get the best value. Now, even when it comes to negotiation, we haven't done anything. We've simply accepted the very first value AC Transit has thrown at us. Now, the way the class pass system works is that, or the way that the class pass system works with AC Transit is that it works on a tier system based on population. Right now, UC Berkeley is paying the same amount as a Tier 1 AC Transit class pass, which is for 14,000 students. As a university with nearly 5 times the amounts of students, gives gives us more than enough grounds to negotiate a lower price on the class pass, which is what we have to do. As a matter of fact, the AC Transit directors recently agreed with me within the past 2 weeks, but we're showing willingness to come forward and negotiate with us this price. And within the last 10 seconds, I'd like to very clearly ask for the proposition in his rebuttal to come up and explain why we have to do this a year ahead of time when we still have the class pass this entire past year, where we can go ahead and do a survey and negotiate with AC Transit.
So for the last class pass referendum in 2006, there was negotiation with UC Berkeley, but now AC Transit has adopted the steer policy so that they don't negotiate with individual schools. But I want to know that the price, as I pointed before, with adjusting for inflation, is actually a better deal than when we negotiated by ourselves. So I don't see what's the problem there. And also I want to mention that in terms of why we're doing this 1 year before, is that if we waited until the last year, just before it expires, then if students say no, that's not a good enough deal, then they get no class pass at all the next year. This time, students have the opportunity to say, although I don't think they'll say that, you could say, no, that's not a good enough deal, and then we can, propose a different deal next year. So we don't want to put the students against a wall.
So what I'd like to make clear is that there's been kind of a consent here that there's no real reliable data on how much the average Cal student uses the class pass. And I really find it doubtful that as one of the largest consumers of the product of AC Transit's product, it would really be showing unwillingness to sit down and negotiate with us. In fact, the AC Transit director showed that willingness. And this idea that we don't have time to go ahead and do this class pass an entire year ahead of time. We have to have this windows. I mean, it's not really there. We can sit down and have this negotiation with AC Transit. They've shown the willingness, and we should really be doing that. We shouldn't be going ahead with the irresponsible fiscal policy and not understanding what the value of the class pass is worth. We should be always striving to get the best value for the money for UC Berkeley students.
All right, thank you both.